Hello, and in this video tutorial we're going to be using Lion Brand ice cream in the color Mint. This is a light size 3 yarn, and it is really soft. I like this. This is my G 4.00 millimeter hook. I purchased this at Hobby Lobby. It's part of their luxury hook line. It's made out of a very sturdy and heavy plastic and is ergonomic. And these are my scissors. They're made from Fiskars. Very sharp and very comfortable and good for my hands. We will be adding this sampler that we're doing onto this one that I have made in a previous video. If you do not have this is okay. We can also start with a chain stitch, and I will tell you how many chains that we will need to do for this sample size. If you continue on with this and make it longer, you can make a nice scarf for this winter or even for this summer and have it for a very decorative piece. I will put a link in the description of where you can find this video so that you can also make the second one and continue on so that it will have the balance of this on both ends of your scarf. For those who do not have this edging already created, you will start with a chain of 37, and then at the end, I'll show you here. Okay, at the end of your 37, you want to place your thumb on that 37, and then you're going to chain 3. The 3 will count as your double crochet, and then you're going to come back and into that first one. Remember, your thumb covered the 37th one. You're going to want to start with 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, and this will start the same as if we were right here. So for those who have this one, we're going to start a little bit different than what I have just showed, as if somebody who was going to use it with a chain stitch. So let's begin our tutorial. Now, before we begin our tutorial, pull some yarn from your skein out. Working with this lighter weight yarn tends to stretch a little bit if you have this tautness coming out of your skein. So it's always best to pull some out first, so that way your tension will remain even in everything that you do. So let's start. We're going to put a slip knot on our hook, and since I am right-handed, I'm going to start with the right one. Now you'll see here our last chain that we used. This will be where we're going to place our first 3 double crochets. I'm going to show you how to start with a standing double crochet. You have your loop on your hook. Here, let me move my yarn out of the way so you can see it better. You have your loop on your hook, and you're going to go to that one that was your center here. Whoops. Yarn over, hold that loop down, and go through that last chain right there, and then complete your double crochet. Okay, that's our first standing double crochet, or our first double crochet. Let's make 2 more in the same spot. And here we have 3. chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to count over 6 spaces or 6 chains. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I know you're going to want to try and grab that one single chain. If you notice, when I pulled on it, you see how it's stretched? We don't want that to happen because then your work won't look professional. We want our work to look professional. So what I'd like for you to do is to take that double crochet and spread it open just a little bit so you can see the chain and the center of that double crochet. And in that space, place 4 double crochets. So here's 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to skip 5, and in the 6th one will be our next 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's our 6th one. We're going to spread apart that double crochet and place 4 double crochets, picking up all parts of that chain and in between that double crochet stitch. Now for those who are using the chain stitch, you want to pick up 2 parts of the chain instead of 1. Because of the lightness of this yarn, I have found that just using 1 makes it stretch out. Okay, so we want to eliminate that. And also, if you notice that this pattern is, the repeat is every 6 stitches. That was why our edging that we've done here was a repeat of every 18 stitches. So here now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice that our next 6th stitch will be the back of the flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that chain 1 that we skipped, and then 6. So what you want to do is you'll want to separate part of that flower and then place 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so we're going to be continuing on as we did before. We got our chain 1 in between our flower. So count over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on that 5th one, which is actually 6 stitches over, we're going to go ahead and place the 4. So go ahead and continue that until you get down here to the end, and I'll show you how to do that there too. Okay, so I hope you did well. This is what we have so far as our first row, and I'm going to use a counter to help us. So that is row 1. Okay, and now here we are at our last one. Okay, so we want to pick up in between those flowers and place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now, as I said in my other video, this is a sample. If you had continued on, you would have a full length, and this is to show you how to do the ends as well. I am planning on making this into a shawl, which will be very long with the hanging flowers here, and to have this as part of the wrap. So let's continue on. We're going to go to row 2. Turn your work. And we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And in our first chain 4, place 3 double crochets, chain 3, and in the same chain 4 space, 3 more double crochets. Okay, and so this is what we have. Okay, we chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Now we're going to skip over this 4 double crochets from row 1, and we're going to go directly into the chain 4 space and do the same as what we've just done. So this is our repeat, 3 double crochets, chain 3, and in the same chain 4 space, 3 double crochets. Alright, repeat this sequence all the way across till you get to here, to the end of the row, and I'll show you how to finish this row. Pause your video. At the end of row 2, remember the first we did chain 2. Well, we cannot chain here, so we're going to do a half double crochet, and that will equal the height of chain 2. So to half double crochet, yarn over, and we're going to go into the very first of the standing double crochet that we did in the row 1, or if you're doing the chain, it would be the top of the chain 3. Okay, and we bring up a loop. I'm going to go through all 3 loops right there. And that will complete row 2. Okay, so this is what we have so far. If you notice, this is on my back side. Now, if you were choosing to make this longer, you can. You just have to increase your multiples of 6. As I said before, this is a sampler, but this will complete a scarf, and it will look very nice if you continue to add your rows on when we're finished. So let's move on. On to row 3. You like my little props? I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So here we completed row 2 over here, so let's flip our work over. And so to build up, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be to build up, and then we're going to chain 1 for the 1 stitch over. In this chain 3 space, we're going to place 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we built up and 1 over. Let me move my marker there. Okay, so to move on, we're going to skip over this, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the next chain 3 space, 4 double crochets. Now I know bells and whistles are starting to go off on you saying, oh, I can do this, I can do this. Yes, you can, but remember one thing, that the beginning and the ending of each row at rows 2 through 5 is what will make the difference on your edges. So that's the reason why I'm doing this tutorial, to show you how to stop and start each row. Alright, so we've completed our 4, so let's chain 4. Okay, and I'm going to let you go to the end of the row. When you get here and complete your 4 double crochets, stop, and I'll tell you how to finish this row right here. So now I want to remind you, we're at the end of row 3. I'm going to chain 1, and then place your finger on top of the loop and wrap it 3 times on your hook. This will create a double treble. Now you can go ahead and place your finger on top of that loop down there. And in the top of the chain 2, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now let's slowly go through 2 loops at a time. This is the equivalent of the chain 5 on the other side. And remember, we chained 1 before we did this stitch right here. So how did you do? Did yours turn out kind of loose? You see that little looseness right now? Let's go ahead and I'll take it out and let's do it again. Okay, so we chained 1 after the 4 double crochets. Now place your finger on that loop, wrap it 3 times. Now I'm going to place my finger right here, and I'm going to go through the center of that. I'm going to pick up 2 loops of that chain. And there, come through here, yarn over through 2. Okay, I'm pushing everything down, trying to keep it tight. Yarn over, pull through 2 stitches, or 2 loops on that hook. Yarn over 2 more. Yarn over 2 more. Okay? So, we have a straight edge here, and when we place some more stitches here, we'll have a straight edge here. Okay? So, on to row 4. I'm having fun. Turn your work over. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's like a double crochet building up. And then we're going to chain 1 as if it's a space over. And then in the top of this double treble, this open space right here, we're going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then skip the 4 double crochets, and we're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in this chain 4 space. Here's my first set of 3, chain 3, and 3 more. Alright, so there's our beginning there. So continue with the 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in each of the chain 4 spaces across. When you get here and you finish your last set, stop, and I'll show you how to finish this corner right here. I bet yours is looking good. So we're at the end of the row, and remember the chain 1 that we had right here? Okay, we're going to place 3 double crochets here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then chain 1. We want to slide everybody over, and to be sure you want to count up 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our 5th chain. We want to place 1 double crochet there. Alright, so as we have here, we had the chain 3 with the 1 double crochet. So now over here we have 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. That completes row 4. So it's prop time. Let's move on to row 5. So turn your work over, and to start this row we're going to chain 3. In the chain 1 space, 2 double crochets. Now, do you know what's next? That's right, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this row we will do 4 double crochets and chain 4. So in our chain 3 space, place 4 double crochets, and chain 4. Continue across until you get to the last chain 3, and I'll show you how to finish row 5. After your last 4 double crochet, chain 4, and in this space opening right here, place 2 double crochets, and at the top of the chain 3 place 1 double crochet. I know that sounds a little ridiculous. Normally you just put right 3, but it helps pull these chain stitches up to help give a straight line. And that completes row 5. So our repeat is row 2 through 5. Okay, so this is as if we had just completed row 1. Okay, so this is the same as row 1. So now we're going to continue on with row 2. So here's row 6. Can you see that 6? So pretend this is row 2, because that's our repeat, and we're going to chain 2. And then into this chain 4 space right here, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. And then you will complete across. And if you remember back at row 2, when you completed this row, you put a half double crochet in at the top of the stitch here. So this is row 6, so I'm going to flip it over and show you what it looks like. Let me straighten my little flowers out, make it all pretty for you. So here's our sample. I think it is so pretty. It's light, it's airy, it's soft, and I think you will enjoy it and love it. Here's a better picture of it. I hope you continue on with it. If you need to, go back to row 2. That's what the clicker was for, to show how to start and stop. Or here is my written out sheet. You'll notice that this shows the flower part, showing the repeats are 18. You would start the row with a chain of 37. Oh, let me change that. Plus 3 if you were doing chain stitches. Okay, if you were doing the actual edging here, you would do plus 4. But for a chain stitch, if you just wanted to do this, it would be chain of 37 plus 3. And that was for this size sample. If you wanted to make it wider, longer, you know, the possibilities are endless. So you can pause the video. Hopefully I can hold this thing long enough for you so you can get a good picture of it. And that way you can use that as a guide. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a fun time making this. It would be perfect as a gift for somebody. I know that they would really appreciate it because it's so pretty, and they would put it up against their skin and say how soft it is. So I hope to see you again in another video. Happy crocheting and have a great day.